Hey everybody, welcome back to Lyrical Resonance, where we believe that where words fail, music speaks. I'm getting into the band Pantokrator today. I don't know much about them. I know they are a Swedish metal band, and they've been around since '96. Now apparently the word Pantokrator means Lord Almighty in ancient Greek. I'm pretty down with that. And this is their song, We the People. It just came out on the 8th of January of this year. And I got contacted by Nordic Mission, who is a record label, asking if I'd be interested in checking their music out. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I like metal. I like Christian music particularly. So, of course, I'm down. Let's get into this. So, if this is your first time watching, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate you taking the time. If you like what you see, go ahead and like the video. Maybe leave a comment, even if it's just to say hi. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel, because where words fail, music does speak, and we're going to continue listening to what it has to say. So let's do that now with Pantokrator and their song, We the People.
We are custodians of God.
Oh.
We are to blame. It's our choice and our shame. We shall arise from bread and games.
That was nice. I love this rhythm. Oh, okay. Dude, this is so much fun. I love the rhythm they've got going here. It's a really awesome, like, I don't think it'd be the appropriate genre, but I'm not like an elitist or anything like that. To me, it sounds like a speed metal track, and I dig it, man. It is a lot of fun. Like, I love the 4/4 time signatures, just fast, energetic, and so much fun. And it's just, dude, it's one you can just kind of bob your head to, man. And I really like it. The guitars are fantastic. I think what they're doing, the riff-wise and the fretwork, is fantastic. The drums are pretty stable. It's just a steady beat going there. I really enjoy that. And, man, the vocals are interesting, too. I thought that, I'm going to guess that was the chorus. Sounded really good. I'm going to back up a little bit because I want to hear some more of that again, because I kind of stopped paying attention a little bit and was just more like, I wasn't listening to words. I was more just listening to music, which, I mean, is part of this, yes, but I want to make sure I'm not missing stuff, so I'm going to back it up just a little bit. All right, let's keep going. Oh, I love that.
To us the voice
love that bass line, man. That sounds awesome. Ooh, okay. Oh. Oh man. Dude, everything about this is fantastic. Like, you had that really cool groove that then turned into the guitar solo, and I mean, this just sounds so good, dude. Like, everything about this is fantastic. I'm gonna get into the lyrics a little bit later, but man, I'm just having a good time enjoying a solid metal track, dude. Like, this is so fun. Really well done. I'm sure, just based on what I have caught in the lyrics are going to kind of be like, there's going to be some dissonance between the lyrics and the tone of the song. Because the tone of the song is actually very high energy, very fun. It seems like it's not, I wouldn't quite say upbeat, but upbeat at the same time. Like, it doesn't sound like a negative song. It sounds like a really positive, encouraging song, if that makes any sense. But from what I've picked up in the lyrics so far, I know it's not going to be that way when I actually take the deep dive into the lyrics. So I'm going to back this up again a bit, because I want to hear some more of this again, because some of those riffs and grooves were just a ton of fun, and it got crazy heavy, and I enjoyed it. So backing it up, I'm going to go back about a minute just because I can. This is such a fun song. Let's keep going. Oh man, the guitar's there. Oh man. Oh, I love that. Good grief, man. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm glad I got into that, dude. That was so good. Man, talk about a fun song, dude. Like, that was really good. Enjoyed it a lot. The drums, the instrumentation, the guitars, I mean, all of it was so good, and it meshed so well together. And dude, mad props to the drummer for holding that double bass for so long. Like, that was impressive, man. I play drums, not on this level, not even close. But my legs would be so stinking tired, man. This was really good. Really enjoyable, and I like what they're saying. Like he, they've got some pretty impressive stuff going on here. I love the way the song starts. We are custodians of God, and that's an interesting way to put it, because in church today we had the message was about how we are ambassadors of God. Like it was based off of I think it was 1 Peter 2:9, where it talks about we are a chosen people, royal priesthood, holy nation, and God's own possession, right? And so it's also kind of like Colossians, where it talks about we are ambassadors of God. We talked about that too, but it was interesting as just a reminder of whose we are. Like we are representatives of God. We're part of His family, and so for them to say to start the song, "We are custodians of God," I just thought it was interesting that that's how the song started, and that's what we talked about in church today. But this is interesting how it's almost like a political track. Not even almost, like it is totally a political track, but they also weave it into like biblical thought. So they say, "We the people, we're to blame. It is our choice and our shame when we sell our rights for bread and games," which makes me think, so Levi Lesko, who's the pastor of Fresh Life Church in Montana, had this entire series called Bread and Circuses, where he talked about the Roman Empire. A big way they kept their dominance for so long was by basically free food and entertainment for their people, and it kept their people complacent enough to just endure whatever the Roman Empire wanted to do. And so what he's saying, what I take this song as saying, in that particular lyric, is that we the people, the custodians of God, we're to blame because we've been distracted. We're to blame for the state of the world because we're not being the example we're supposed to be, right? Like we're so busy infighting with one another that we're not really shining the light of Christ out into the world. And they even say we trade our freedom for false security. We need to consider the next trade that we make, because we have a voice. We were given this voice, and now we have a choice. Are we going to tear it down, or are we going to rebuild? And dude, that's so good. There's that line right before, I don't remember what part, like where in the song it was structured necessarily. I don't know if it would be considered a bridge or what, but they say, basically they go, a penny for your sanity, shackles for your liberty, a pile of waste for your soul. And then they go into, they say, "Come rise, sick temper tyrannus, thus always to tyrants," which is what John Wilkes Booth said right before he shot Abraham Lincoln. And their next line is, "Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God," which I find interesting that they would pair those two things. I mean, it's hard for us here in America to remove words from context sometimes. Sometimes we are excellent at it, or we will take everything out of context in a way where it just is stupid. But like something like this, sick temper tyrannus, where we take that and we try to remove it from Lincoln, like we think of that as some really awful thing, right? But I like what they're saying here, "Thus always to tyrants, and rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God." And I think what they're trying to say with this is, who would we rather please? The masses, culture, or would we rather please God? Like, who would, in the grand scheme of things, is it more important to us that we're comfortable and that we're entertained, or is it more important to us that we're obedient? Because that's where we're at. Like that's where we're at right now. We have to make that decision. What are we willing to trade away? Are we willing to be the people who are willing to sacrifice comfort and entertainment and security for obedience, or are we the kind of people who are willing to sacrifice that relationship with God for the sake of being comfortable? So, dude, this is such a good song. I love the way they put this, and I really appreciate that they kind of took it from like almost like American politics. Being a Swedish band, they almost took like American politics, where we're all about we the people, and how they kind of like flipped it and said, you know what, we're custodians of Christians, we're custodians of God. We are a lot to blame for the chaos in the world because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We're not being representatives. We're not being good custodians of God. And so we have this choice. Are we gonna continue to tear things down, or are we gonna build things up? Are we gonna be the type of people who are willing to be obedient even when it means giving up some freedoms, giving up some comforts, some liberties, I guess you could call it, kind of like the shackles for your liberty. Like, are you willing to give up some of your liberty in order to be obedient? And I think that's kind of an important question that we have to ask ourselves, especially here in America, where we do that a lot, where we're very rights conscious, and we don't like people to mess with our rights. But when we belong to Christ, He owns them. He owns everything about our lives. When we surrender ourselves to Him, when we say, I'm committed to you, we commit everything, including our rights. And so, man, this is interesting, and definitely an interesting thing for us to consider. Are we willing to be obedient? Man, so good. Let me know what you thought about this song. Leave me some comments. Talk to me about what you thought. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I were to rate this on that scale, 1 being terrible and 10 being amazing, I'm probably going to give this song like a 9.5, man. This was so good and really thoroughly enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. And so tell me what you thought. What would you put it on that scale of 1 to 10? 1 terrible, 10 amazing. Where does it fall for you? I'm curious to hear from you. Man, awesome. That's going to do it for me in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you taking the time. If you liked what you saw, like the video, leave me some comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the videos. Because where words fail, music does speak, and we're going to continue listening to what it has to say. If there are any songs you want me to get into, obviously you can comment, or you can email me at lyrical.resonance.ia@gmail.com, and I'll get it added into my schedule. Now, before we go, consider checking out one of these videos, because maybe you'll enjoy my thoughts on one of the songs, or maybe you just want to hear from a band maybe you haven't heard of before. Either way, I'll see you over there, and until then, stay safe and be blessed. We'll see you soon.